My arms were stretched high above me. I couldn't see, I couldn't speak. I could only hear their footsteps, 2 sets closing in. I was breathless, trapped, and I had no idea what they'd do next, but I wanted them to. Before we jump in, this one came out a little faster than it was supposed to, but I couldn't wait to share it. Let me know if it still hit the mark for you. Let's begin. I had already said yes. There was no turning back now. The sheets were clean, the lights dim just enough. Candles flickered across the room, casting soft shadows over the space I'd prepared deliberately, obsessively, down to the last detail. I kept adjusting things that didn't need adjusting, wiping down surfaces, straightening pillows, anything to keep my hands busy. I walked back to the mirror, one last look. The black lace fit just right, draping softly over skin I hadn't shown in a long time. I turned slightly, checking the back, then the front again. I hadn't dressed to hide. That was the point. My heart was racing, not with fear, but with something harder to define. A sharp pulse of anxiety and anticipation tangled together in my chest. I had no idea what to expect. I only knew what I had asked for. I slid a finger along my collarbone, breathing out slowly. Every part of me felt alive, hypersensitive. The cool air moved over my skin, heightening everything. I sat down for a moment, then stood up again. The door was still locked, still quiet, but both of them were coming. That had been the agreement. I thought about saying no, about changing my mind, about texting and calling it off, but I didn't. Because beneath the nerves, I wanted it, all of it, everything I'd never tried, never allowed myself to want. That was what tonight was about. No pretending, no control, just surrender. Then I heard it. 3 slow knocks. It was time. They stood at the door, both of them. Neither spoke. The tall one stepped forward first, his movement slow and deliberate. He didn't ask if I was ready. He didn't have to. Something in his presence, calm, towering, quiet, left no room for questions. He stopped inches from me. I could smell the faint scent of leather on his jacket. Then without a word, he lifted his hands and slipped the cover over my eyes. The light vanished. My world narrowed to breath and sound. The air thickened. My breathing changed. I heard the door click shut behind me, then nothing, just the hum of silence and the awareness of my own heartbeat. I was already shaking, and he hadn't even touched me yet. Then I felt him behind me, close. His hand brushed lightly over my waist, then settled there, warm, heavy, grounding. I held still, uncertain, tense, but I didn't pull away. I didn't want to. His fingers traveled lower, adjusting the angle of my hips, moving me like I wasn't in charge of myself anymore. I let him. Each small shift sent a shock through my legs. My breath caught when he nudged my knees apart. I obeyed. The cover over my eyes heightened everything. His footsteps, the whisper of fabric, the sound of his breath when he stepped in closer. I felt his chest graze my back, the firmness of his grip around my hips, the steady pressure as he guided me further into his control. Then he moved, no asking, no warning, just doing exactly what I'd asked for. My mouth parted on instinct. A sound slipped out, quiet, needy. My hands lifted slightly, then hovered, unsure of where to go, unsure of what I was allowed to do. I'd never felt so exposed, so vulnerable, so incredibly alive. He was slow at first, but never soft. He handled me like something to be claimed, positioned, tested, made to respond. His rhythm was steady, unrelenting, like he was teaching my body how to listen to him. Every second dragged and surged at the same time. I tried to stay composed, to hold still, but it didn't take long before I couldn't. Every shift sent a jolt through me. My breath fractured, my legs trembled. I was spiraling, fast, hard, and deeper than I thought I could go. He adjusted his grip, holding me tighter, making sure I didn't pull away. I didn't need to see. I felt everything. His grip, his rhythm, the raw control that stripped away thought and left only sensation. The pressure built, my mind blurred. I moaned, louder than before. I didn't care who heard. And then I unraveled. It rushed through me, sharp, sudden, in heat, release, collapse. My body clenched. My breath broke apart. I gasped out loud, helpless to stop it, trembling under the weight of it all. When my knees started to give out, he held me through it, firm, silent, steady. Only when it passed did he let go. He stepped back without a word. I stayed where I was, unsteady, trembling, completely undone. I'd never been touched like that before, never surrendered like that. And the part I didn't expect? I needed more. The second man closed in, slower, heavier. He didn't speak, just approached with quiet certainty, like we both already knew what came next. I sensed him before I felt him. His presence was heavier, denser, different. Hands closed around my wrists and raised them above my head. A firm hold followed, steady and certain. My arms stretched high and stayed there. I barely had time to process it before a soft band slid between my lips and fastened behind my head. Now I couldn't see, couldn't speak, couldn't move. He said nothing. Then his hands reached my thighs, confident, unwavering. He shifted my stance and stepped in. I staggered slightly. The tension above held me. His fingers pressed into my skin with practiced control, measuring how far I'd let him take me. There was no pause. He handled me like someone completely in charge. No build-up, just motion, pressure, and certainty. He adjusted my hips and moved me into place, setting the rhythm on his own terms. My body jolted with every shift. I gasped against the band. The sound went nowhere. He moved with purpose, measured, unrelenting. My knees wavered, but I stayed upright. His grip never faltered. Every motion sent something deeper, pulsing through me. I moaned behind the cover, helpless, overwhelmed, and flushed with heat. It was more than I expected, and I couldn't stop what was coming. My body took over. The pressure rose too fast, spilling past every limit I thought I had. I came apart, shaking where I hung, head tilted back, breath exploding in short, fractured bursts. He held me steady, carrying me through it, not letting go until every wave passed. Then everything stilled. He stepped away, and the quiet swallowed the room. I didn't collapse. I couldn't. I stayed there, suspended, trembling, covered, breathless, completely undone. But then a shift. The air felt different, lighter. I sensed one of them near me again, not to continue, but to pause. The band around my mouth loosened, then fell away. The cover over my eyes was gently removed. Light flooded back, soft but startling. I blinked, adjusting, and saw them both standing there, not imposing, not distant, but present, watching me with quiet respect. The tall one spoke first, his voice low, steady. "You okay?" I nodded, my breath still uneven, my body still humming. "Yeah," I managed, my voice hoarse but certain. "I'm okay." They exchanged a glance, then the second man stepped forward, his expression softer now. "You went further than most?" he said, a hint of admiration in his tone. I smiled, weak but genuine. I wanted to. They didn't push, didn't ask for more. Instead, they helped me sit, handing me a glass of water from the bedside table. The room felt different now. Calm. Grounded, like we'd all crossed a threshold together. I sipped the water, my hands still trembling slightly, and looked at them. "Thank you," I said, meaning it. They nodded, no words needed. They gathered their things, offered a quiet goodbye, and left, the door clicking softly behind them. I sat there for a long time, alone, the candles still flickering, the air still warm. My body ached in the best way, but it was more than that. I'd tested my limits, pushed past what I thought I could handle, and found something new in myself. Strength, surrender, a hunger I hadn't known was there. But I also realized I didn't need them to keep going. This was about me, about what I could discover on my own terms. I stood steady now and caught my reflection in the mirror. The woman looking back wasn't the same one who'd stood there hours ago. She was bolder, surer, ready for whatever came next. If you could step into a moment where you surrender all control to explore your deepest desires, would you take the leap or would you hold back? Share your thoughts in the comments.